Hi everybody, it's Yazzie here. So if you're new here, hello. I am a tarot reader. I am also a psychic. I am clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient, and claircognizant. I am also an empath. And I also have the gift of dreams, premonitions, and visions. I have had these abilities since I was a young child. I still do. Um, and they're very strong at times, and sometimes they're extremely vivid in all those areas, especially when I can feel the emotions of others and just I know when something's off. My intuitiveness is extremely strong. But I have a message for you today, and we're also going to pull tarot cards and oracle, but um first, let me go ahead and get everything cleansed. And then we have three very important messages that came up and that have been coming up that the universe wants me to tell you all. So let me go ahead, get the Palo Santo going so that way we can get everything cleansed here. So I cleanse this area. I cleanse all of my crystals and stones and the cards. And we cleanse this area so that the gods and goddesses, archangels, guardian angels, deities, entities, spirits, spiritual teams, spiritual guides, ascended masters, ancestors, and the universe are present so that we may receive the messages that we all need to hear today, this evening. And I hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day today. So while I'm shuffling the cards, I have some channeled messages. So the first one is that came through really heavily is what's holding you back? So something, and it's even just with me as well, like what's holding you back? Like think about kind of in your life, if you feel it's yourself, if you feel it's a situation, if you feel it's people, an environment, a job, whatever the case may be, something, you feel that something is holding you back, or you feel that something's in the way. And perhaps now is the time to go internally and try to figure out what it is that's holding you back at this time, whatever you feel that it may be. So, and it's even just the universe asking as well, like asking you, what is it that's holding you back at this time? And kind of like, instead of ignoring it, and we have the Nine of Swords, it's something that's clearly stressing you out, it's bothering you, because there are things that you want to do in life, that you want to move forward in, that you want to be able to with your dreams and passions, and yet somehow you feel that something's holding you back, but you're not sure what it is. So this is that time where you need to kind of just go in internally with yourself and ask yourself, what is it that's holding you back? 3, 2, 1 as I say that on the timer. So that's the first thing. The second thing that came up as I was doing my healing and kind of alignments a bit, 3, 3, 3 as I say this before starting this message, is what was the phrasing? Because I want to make sure that the phrasing comes out the way that it was said, 3, 4, 5 as I say this. The phrasing is that just because I know myself and know who I am, 3, 5, 4 as I say this, and you don't seem to know who you are, or know what you want, or know where you're going in life, does not mean that you need to project your insecurities, fears, or ego onto me. And that's the phrase that I had while I was doing my healing. So, and I have a pretty good feeling that for my own personal life, I know who these people are who are doing it, and I feel heavily with the collective. You have a person or people that are doing that. 4, 3, 2 as I say that on the timer, like there are people in your life where they're jealous or envious of your gifts, of what you can do, of how well spoken you are, of the fact that 4, 4, 4 as I say this, I've been seeing 4, 4, 4 a lot too, so you may be seeing that, and 2, 2, 2 as well. And the color purple, I've been seeing it for days, so purple is significant. But 4, 5, 6 as I say that, but you may have people in your life where, you know, they feel that you have things that they don't. And that's the last part. That was the third part of the message. Like someone feels in your life that you have things that they don't and it bothers them. But really, they do. They really do. It's just that what they're doing instead is they're taking all their energy, and rather than using it productively and actually seeking healing or whatever help or whatever support that they know they can go get. And these aren't for people, these aren't the types of people where like they're in their healing journey and they don't realize what they're doing, like they don't realize they're being toxic. And we've all been there, you know, I've been there, I'm sure you've all been there, where you're in a part of your journey and you don't know what to do and you don't understand. But no, these are people who are actively 555, as I say this, actively know that they're being toxic. They actively know they're not healed. They consciously know what they're doing. And they're just choosing not to actually take the steps needed to grow and evolve and change and actually go inward to themselves and figure out what's the cause of where all these feelings are coming from and why it's being projected out onto you. So, and I suppose the last part of the message, and this is something that's been coming through for at least the collective message, and then we'll get into the cards, but the last part of it is that I've been feeling for the last few days now. It just never seemed to come up full force. Is just be you. Like, even with all the people who are feeling negatively about you and what you're doing, 654 as I say this, where they feel negatively about it, just be who you want to be. Don't worry about them. They have their own things going on that have nothing to do with you. Like, at the end of the day, it really doesn't have anything to do with you. Even if you were involved in their life at one point, 7-Eleven, as I say that, even if you were involved in their life at one point, like, they're still going to be pissed off, they're still going to be upset, and you know, it is what it is. And even I've noticed, and the and the universe, and you know, my inner self, my higher self, my inner child, my masculine and feminine ends of me have all looked at me like, why are you holding parts of yourself back? Like, if people like you, they like you. If they don't, they don't. And I feel with the collective, it's the same way. I definitely pick up on it. Like, who cares? Do what you want to do, be you, because that's the whole point of being in this human existence, is that you're meant to be you at the end of the day. Like, yeah, you'll grow and evolve, but you're still working out of authenticity and being genuine. And yes, we all make mistakes. We all have our moments in life, or 808 on the timer, where we mess up or we have our own moments of toxicity, but that's part of learning and growing and evolving and changing. So just be you. Do what you want. Clearly don't do it in an unhealthy way, obviously not. But like, as far as the people sending you the negativity and trying to be that way and trying to block you and be in your business and energy and trying to screw you up, fuck them. Who cares? Because if the universe really wants you to stop doing something, it will do it on its own. It doesn't need the help of them, like sending you the negativity and getting in your way. Like, it doesn't need the help. Trust me, the universe can handle itself and handle you. If it needs to, like, slow you down or get you to rest or get you to, like, get redirected a whole different way than where you're currently going. So as far as those people, don't worry about them. 909 as I say that. I've been seeing that a lot as well, and 911, so those numbers may be significant for you as well. But let's get into the cards. Those are like the 4 collective messages I've been getting for like days. So my energy might be changing a little bit, but that's just because as far as the readings go, that's just because like I'm just 100% of me is back. And I explained it in my video before this about all of me coming back to myself, all of my energy, that some of it was taken and it's come back home. If you haven't seen that reading, go watch that one. But with all of your energy now back home, just be you. Be unapologetically yourself, authentically and genuinely. But let's see, what else do we need to know aside from all that information I just threw at you in a matter of like 10 minutes? But let's see. The Hierophant. Again? We got the Hierophant again, but like I said, just like I said, commit to you. Because it's pretty much like there's other messages as far as this card goes, but most of it is commitment. Because this came out in my last reading too, and when I asked the universe and the guides what it meant, the phrase that came out was stay committed to yourself. Is that still the same message for this card? Yep, is what I heard. Yep, same message. Same thing with this card as far as the Hierophant goes. So stay committed to you and yourself. Don't worry about everybody else. And of course, if you have kids, those are included with you, because you got to take care of them. They're their own little beings, but we kind of got to teach them and help them learn. But yes, stay committed to whatever it is, 1111 as I say this, that you're doing. Stay on the course. You're doing well. You got it. You're doing very, very well. And I know it seems like it's difficult. Trust me. I know how you feel. Also, I did want to make a point. I do my readings more intuitively. I know what the cards mean. I'm very much aware, but 1132, I mostly follow intuition. I forgot to mention that at the beginning. But stay committed to you. You're doing well. I just heard you got the golden statue. You got it. See, your reward is close. Perhaps there's a reward on the way, something in gold. How do we continue to proceed? Yep. I want to show this card here. I'm going to like cover her as best as I can, but we have number 12, and it's fluidity, outer core. So you're instead now, because I think there's a couple, 1221 as I say this, there's a couple readings I've said where like you're working internally, and you may feel like you've been doing that for a while, but now what you're working on is the outer world. And what I mean by that is your world. You're working more now to try and take action. It's time for you to take action on the material world for yourself now, as opposed to just working internally. Because now, and even when you sleep, and I've noticed this too, when I sleep, you're always working on yourself energetically. That never stops. But for the physical world, because we are human beings and we have limitations, we do. Now it is time to work on your material world. Stay committed to you, but in the 3D sense. Now is the time to actually take that action towards your goals, your dreams, those things that you've been wanting to do, regardless of what anybody says or tells you. I think of it this way. And this is from my own 1333 as I say this is from my own perspective, but I think it has some truth to it. When I go to ask people advice, usually I'm asking them because I don't know. It's something that I do want someone's perspective on. Now, if you have someone just coming up and telling you how to live your life and what to do and how to go about it, unprompted and unasked, because I absolutely love when people do that to me. Think of it this way: when they're telling you, think about it. Has this person actually tried doing this themselves? And more importantly, have they failed because they tried? And if so, did they eventually succeed, 1414, through going through those failures because they tried? And you can even ask them that, like, have you done this for yourself? And if someone tells you no, don't take the advice. They're just telling you just to tell you, just to talk. And that's how I see it. If someone has not tried and failed, but in those failures after a while have succeeded, don't take that person's advice. Don't hear what they have to say. Don't listen to that person. Because unless they have experienced it, and unless they have actually tried it themselves and failed, or just not even just failed and succeeded, but failed in some way, they still learn something in their failures. So just keep that in mind when you're trying to go about things for yourself and someone starts telling you how to do something or what to do, as far as that goes. And I understand some people, they feel the need to want to be needed, or they feel 15-15 as I say this, or they feel that they want to put in their 2 cents because they feel like they're being useful. And I understand that. But sometimes with certain things, you kind of have to ask yourself, where is their advice coming from? And is it coming from a place of genuine help, like giving genuine assistance and advice? Or is it coming from a place where they still have their own traumas or insecurities and they're trying to fill a void by doing that? So just keep that in mind. But it's time to take action. It's time to work on the 3D world now. Time to do that within committing to yourself. So what's the next thing we need to know outside of that? What's the next card? Ooh, we have the Emperor, which further kind of amplifies what I said. Like, this is the time where it's time to take authority. And I know most of the time the Emperor is more of like the masculine energy. This is more of like the father, the authoritative father in the tarot deck. But this is supposed to be you. This is supposed to be you, not aggressively, because I know this card really, like, it takes on a very aggressive set. But like, this is a card where I see it as you're taking control back, or I'm sorry, blah, 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 where you're taking back control of your life, and in a way you're taking back control of your destiny in a way. And granted, certain things like, fate and the universe, everything has a part to play. But this is something where I see it as you're taking back control, which is a good thing. That's what you should be doing. Like, if there's certain things where it's gotten out of hand, you haven't been doing what you need to take care of it, this is kind of that card telling you, 1717 as I say this is kind of that card that's telling you it's time. It's time to kind of look over your life, look over certain things that have kind of gotten out of control, certain things or situations where you need to start evaluating and taking care of these things. This is that card that's telling you it's time to take back control and authority. And not in an aggressive way. Like, don't like go all out and be like, it's time to change everything and I'm cutting this off and that off. Like, whoa, hold on. Like, we gotta do this in a more like methodical kind of sense. Like, actually, even if it's as simple as writing down a list, like write down a list of things, or even if you journal, look through your journal and kind of look back at, like, okay, well, what goals did I write for the beginning of the year? What did I say that I wanted to do and take care of? And kind of look back at it and see, well, did I take care of these things? Have I even started on taking care of these things? And if not, then this is that time to figure out, okay, now how do I go about doing this? And kind of write down the steps on what to do and implement them. Even if it's like one small thing a day. Like me, I think yesterday I started stretching. I forgot to today, but I'm going to. But like simple things like that, like just stretching in the morning, doing like a simple, 10-minute healing, doing like, 5 minutes of breathing exercises, simple things like that you want to do. Or like even figuring out, like doing research even for a project. Like, what is it you want to do? Is it art? Is it music? Is it something for a business? Even if it's just like, oh, well, I want to go buy this thing, like even if it's like computer parts, like go take a look and see what do I need in order to, upgrade my computer, simple things like that, even if you're doing research, that's still some sort of action towards what you want to do. So that's what we have with the Emperor card. But how do we proceed with this? Here we go. Here's the inner cord coming out now. This is number 18. The fluidity one I pulled before was number 12. I'm not sure if I said that, but this is the solidity inner core. So kind of like kind of like going back in on those goals and those thoughts that you set for yourself, kind of going back even just to your inner child. Like, what was it that brought you all that passion? Like, it's time to kind of go in and like you can see kind of like in the inner core, kind of like the earth, where the molten lava and the magma is inside the earth, that fiery passion that you had for a specific goal or project, and it's time to kind of light that up again and get that part pulled out of you, so that way you can, with the fluidity and with the Hierophant previously, take that 3D world action. Because you can have inspiration in the outside world, but really in the beginning, what gave you that passion and that fire was you. Your inner core, your inner child is what gives you that passion. Anytime you get excited about something, where does it come from? You feel something inside you where it's like, you feel it in you. And that's what this card is telling you to do. Go deep in you and figure out, like, even if your passions have changed, it's that same energy. Regardless of whether, oh well, maybe you liked art or drawing before, but now you like you may like music more. Go internally and kind of pull out that same energy. Different goals, different passions this time, but it's that same excitement, that same energy that you worked with before. And that's what this card is saying for you to do. Okay, and we'll go ahead with one more on the last card here. Let's see what we got. What's the final bit that we need to know? Oh my god. That's awesome. So we had the Emperor before, and now we have the Empress as well. We have both of them coming out in this reading, which is kind of cool actually. So with the Empress, it's a little bit different. So like, I'm getting in this reading where like there has to be a very good balance of inner and outer world this time. 2222 as I say that, 2222. So yes, and twos again, there's balance. So with the Empress, this is an energy where you can see relaxed and one with herself, and know that you don't have to be female for this, just this is the energy. She knows herself. She knows, the Empress knows what kind of power they have, and it's a relaxed one. It's one of receiving as opposed to giving, as opposed to going out and getting. So there has to be, from what I'm getting in this reading, there has to be a balance of both. 2304 as I say that. So there has to be a balance of, okay, well, I'll still be able to go out and get it, but there has to be moments where you kind of just have to sit back and see what happens. Because if we're working in this, energy of always going to get, which society, 2323 as I say that, which society seems to have this mindset of we always have to be doing something and on the go, and then we wonder why we get burnout. 2334 as I say this is why. Because we're not taking enough time to be in this Empress energy of receiving, of seeing how things go, of knowing that things will work out for us regardless of what is going on around us. And that's also what the Empress represents as well, is that she's sure of herself. She's absolutely sure of what's going on. And she's relaxed. She's not worried about it. She knows it'll be fine. Everything will be cool. It'll be okay. So with that, she also represents this kind of like earthly kind of energy. It's Taurus energy. It's Taurian energy, where there's like a fertile energy about her as well. She's very much in her feminine. So there's compassion there. There's love, and there's just a certainty. So you just kind of gotta remember there's this energy that we have to be reminded of sometimes as well, not just always being in the Emperor energy and always on the go. So how do we go about this? Here we go. And this confirms what I said about the inner core, the solidity inner core. So this is number 14. It's the soul passion. I love when, like, don't you love when you like have a message and everything matches up? Anyway, but just like I was saying before, look into your soul, find that passion. And that's what this card is all about. And with the Empress, it's kind of like you kind of have to sit back sometimes and kind of just listen to your inner self, listen to your soul. Your soul knows. Your heart and your inner child and your soul will know. But because of the way that life is, where we get so caught up in it and get so caught up in all these other things that we need to focus on and work and this, that, and the other. And I get it. You know, it's kind of the world that we live in, and there are things we do have to focus on, but sometimes we have to take that moment of just listen to yourself sometimes, where you kind of have to listen to that voice. Probably more than any other person or any other voice in the world is you got to listen to your own, to your higher self, to your soul. And sometimes it's even the universe kind of coming in and telling you, hey, you're doing too much. You need to relax, you need to calm down, or go this way or go that way. And sometimes it even comes to us in warnings like, I don't think we should go, or I don't think we should do this, or you probably shouldn't eat that, or what, you know, simple things like that. But on a serious note, the soul will always know what is the right path for you. It's just a matter of actually taking the time to clear everything else out of the way and actually listening to it. And I think in a lot of ways, that's a good amount of what we've lost in this world, is actually listening to that voice that we all have. And that's where we end up getting lost, and not in the way that we need to be. Not in getting lost in yourself, but getting lost in, you know, in losing ourselves. So just try to keep in mind that if that voice is telling you something, it's for a reason. It's not just because. And I know sometimes we can kind of get tripped up on, well, is it out of fear? Is it out of, the ego? And sometimes it can be confusing, but that's when you take that moment to kind of clear out all the noise and really decipher where is it coming from. And I think I was watching something one day where sometimes we're scared to do things, and the feeling of fear and excitement can feel very much the same. And sometimes the things that you're scared to do are the things that you should be doing the most. So, because that means that's your soul actually telling you, yeah, it's time to do it, even if you're scared. So, yeah, that is the message today. That was a long message, but that was a lot, and it needed to get said. And I think that I honestly feel, and I know it was very important because it had been on my heart and soul, and the universe had been like poking me for like days on getting all those messages out. But I hope this message helped you, and I hope it gave you some really good clarity on where to go and how to go about things and what to do, and just be yourself, be you. And as far as the people sending you negativity, fuck them. They're on their own journey. They need to go figure themselves out and not be projecting and worried about you. That's between you and the universe. You and the universe worry about you. But I hope this helped, and I hope to see you all again soon. Have a good evening. Bye.